Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, it's middle of October and that means that things are going to start slowing down, and everybody here at Garden Sense and over at rosensonline.com has seen that trend kind of playing out. We're shipping less product out the door each week, and we're getting fewer and fewer emails that come into our inbox. But that's okay, it's to be expected. However, we did get a couple dozen emails this past week, so we wanted to select 4 of them today and address them right here on the podcast. So buckle up everybody, let's jump right in. The first question is from Jim. Hello Tim, my previous Turf Trust application was September 10th. I know that you said the next application of Turf Trust is mid-November, but I will be unavailable that week. My question is, would it be all right to make the next application of Turf Trust during the first week of November? So one of the things that we love most about Turf Trust is the fact that it's incredibly easy to put down because there's simply no rigid schedules that need to be followed. Now, we always say mid-November here, but if you need to do it a week or so early or even a week or two later, that's okay. The important thing is that we get this 4th feeding down before the ground freezes. It's going to be really vital for the long-term health of your lawn to get the fertilization done before the ground freezes. So if you want to do it a week early in November or maybe wait a week or two after you come back, it's okay. Again, as long as the ground hasn't frozen, you're going to be good to go. The next question is from Peggy. Good morning, Tim. Is it okay to put down Turf Trust fertilizer, Gallery, and Dimension at the same time? We are not overseeding. So this is a great question, and believe it or not, we get this a lot. You can absolutely put down the Turf Trust fertilizer, Dimension, and Gallery on the same day. To be perfectly honest with you, there are a number of times over the last 6 or 7 springs where I have actually had to do just that because of the weather, where I've typically put down Turf Trust first, then I follow up with Dimension, and then I follow up with Gallery. And yes, it's a lot of walking, to do over the course of a single day with the spreader, but it's definitely worth it. So yes, you can absolutely put them down. Just make sure that you are adjusting your spreader with each product because again, they don't have the same application rate. So just be careful that if you are putting down all 3 products the same day, you make sure you adjust your spreader accordingly. Question number 3 is from Sylvia. Tim, what is the specific function of Gallery and Dimension? Are they pre-emergent weed killers as you advise using them in the spring also? I know you suggest putting down Gallery in October. So Gallery and Dimension are what's called pre-emergent control products. Now, you mentioned in your email killer, and I don't want to split hairs here, but it's important to understand the difference between control and kill. So weed killers actually do that, they kill the weed. Pre-emergent control products prevent weeds from germinating from seed, and so therefore they're not going to break through the soil surface. So if you've got a lawn full of weeds and you put down Gallery or Dimension, you're actually not going to kill any of the existing weeds, but what you may do is actually help prevent them from spreading, dropping their seeds, those seeds germinating, and more weeds come up. See, both products are very similar in the sense that they create a chemical barrier on the soil surface. And that's obviously very effective at preventing new weeds from breaking through the soil surface and infesting your lawn. Now, the difference between the 2 products is really the types of weeds they prevent. Dimension is geared more towards your crabgrass and your grassy weeds, while Gallery focuses a lot more on the broadleaf weeds. Again, and this is really just defined by the chemical composition of each product. The last question for today is from Mark. Tim, what is the name of the straw you recommend for seed covering, and where do you find it? So the only straw that we recommend is Easy Straw. And again, this is something that I use on my lawn and I've had a lot of success using it. So first, it's important to understand why you want to use straw in general. Well, the first thing you want to make sure you do when you seed is protect the seed. And UV light is very detrimental to your grass seed. In fact, your grass seed will die within 2 days if not properly covered. And a product like Easy Straw covering your grass seed is going to help prevent that. The second thing that straw does is it actually retains moisture really, really well. So when you cover the seed with the straw, in this case easy straw, and then hose it down and soak it really well, that straw is going to stay wet longer. It's going to keep that seed nice and moist, and obviously that's going to aid in the production of the new grass growing. However, there are two other things that, in our opinion, really separate easy straw from just using regular straw. First and foremost is it's 99% weed free. Now that's really important, especially if you kind of follow our normal routine of trying to kill the weeds first before you put down new grass. If you don't use a product like Easy Straw and you don't know exactly where that straw came from, it could contain a bunch of weed seeds. And by putting it down, you're actually adding more weeds potentially into your lawn, and that's never a good thing. The other thing that is really great about Easy Straw is it actually has a tack to it. So what happens is when you lay it down and it gets wet, the blades of straw, the pieces of straw will actually start to stick together because they're tacky. That creates a really nice protective barrier. Again, it's going to help block out the sunlight, as we've already mentioned, but it's going to keep things like birds and smaller animals potentially from digging through and trying to get at that seed if the animal happens to know that it's there. So again, Easy Straw, you can find it over at rosensonline.com. We highly, highly recommend it. All right, folks, just a couple final thoughts here. We have officially set a date when the fall feeding frenzy is ending, and it is October 31st. So you've got about 2 weeks left to take advantage of the special pricing and the free shipping on Turf Truss. So again, head over to rosensonline.com, click on the Turf Truss Fall Feeding Frenzy products. Again, they contain 3 bags of either the 5M or the 10M, the Turf Truss Starter or the Turf Truss Maintenance. And with that 4th feeding coming up here in November, there's no better time to save than right now. So again, head over to rosensonline.com before October 31st and that sale ends. Folks, also make sure you pick up some plant truss for your deciduous trees and shrubs. Guys, it's real simple. If you have trees and shrubs that drop their leaves in the fall, then really now is the time that you want to feed them plant truss. What's going to happen is that's really going to strengthen the roots, and as that tree goes or that bush goes dormant over the winter, once spring hits, all that food that's been stored up in the tree's root systems or the bush's root systems is going to release, and the foliage is going to come back bigger, bolder, and stronger than ever. So again, plant truss is available over at rosensonline.com. Now, one final thought. We had a couple of emails from some folks asking about Kickstart and if they should still be putting it down. And the answer is yes, folks. If you're putting it on your lawn or you're treating your trees and shrubs with it, you can absolutely still put it down right up until the ground freezes. And again, remember what Kickstart's supposed to do. It's supposed to strengthen the root system of plants. And so in terms of your lawn, what you're trying to do is strengthen those roots so that it absorbs more nutrition in the soil. Well, guess what? When you're putting down your 4th feeding of turf truss, the whole point of that is so that your roots take in that nutrition and hold it over the course of the winter because the top growth of the grass has stopped. So absolutely put down Kickstart. Some people put it down weekly, some people put it down monthly, but again, up until that soil freezes, you can absolutely continue to use Kickstart outside. And of course, you are able to use it on your indoor plants as well. Folks, thanks so much for all the time that you've spent with us today. We really appreciate it. If you do have questions, make sure you send an email to tim@rosensonline.com and I will get back to you within 48 hours. We appreciate all the questions and all the feedback that you give us. It really means a lot to us. Folks, I hope you have a great rest of the week. God bless.